What's up YouTube, my name's Will, and I know there's been a bit of a hiatus, but we're back on the van on the channel, and today we're going to be doing the NoX sensor because the van needs a DOE and it's been hanging off the bottom of it for how long, Ben?
Since probably November.
So yeah, it's now nearly April. Needs doing.
So I'm underneath the van now, right? And it's what we're swapping is this. So this is on a Volkswagen Caddy. This is your NoX Sensor Bank 2. There's one of these before the catalytic converter, and there's one after the catalytic converter, and you can see the cable coming from it, and that's the one that we're swapping after the catalytic converter on the way out the back of the van. Don't know if you can see that, but yeah, that's what we're swapping. We'll show you the fault code on the OBD sensor when we get to it. So we're like, it's actually quite far towards the front of the vehicle where this is located, which is kind of annoying, but that's the old ECU part of it there. So that's clearly been dragged along the ground for a while. 5 months, and that's the new one. That's what it's meant to look like. That's what it's supposed to look like. So the metal is gone, everything's gone. Oh, Jesus, right? Yeah. So this is where it plugs in. That's your plug into the rest of the loom, so that the engine can read it. The engine ECU can read it, or rather the body ECU can read it. And then this is just the old fucking one where it was located somewhere here. You see these two studs here? On the new one, we have a plate. Oh. On the new one we have a plate, so I'm going to assume that they line up with them holes, and then we just need to get some nuts and washers to secure that on. And then if you follow the line, it's kind of like a rubbery type of feel off of it. If you follow it all the way back, it goes into there. So it goes into here, and then that's where it reads after the catalytic converter. And to take that off is just a 22mm spanner to get that off. And we're hoping that this is not seized, because a lot of the time that nut does be seized because of the heat from the exhaust. So yeah, we just hope and pray that that's not seized, and we'll just crack on. Please. It's only been 5 months, like. For demonstration purposes, if you can't see what I'm doing, so this is the new one, exactly what's there. So I'm putting my 22mm spanner on this, which we hope isn't seized, and it's attached. It's kind of like up at an angle inside, which is not good, but we'll hope that it's not seized. Mighty God. And it's seized. Oh. Oh. Yes. Fucking yes. Fucking Big Bertha wins again. Big Bertha. Huh? Oh lad. That is the job. Right, hold on now before you take it the whole way out. I've got to stop the engine. Right, so we had the big brain play of, it wasn't coming out with the 22mm, the 22, I think it might be like a 21. We saw online it was 22, so we went with 22, but this spanner was kind of, there was a little bit of play in it. It might be a 21, don't have a 21, so we got the big fuck off adjustable. What do you want? This? Yes, oh, okay. We got the big adjustable in, and it still wasn't budging, so we thought, right, we'll turn the van on, let some heat through the exhaust, maybe like heat up the joint a little bit. You didn't have a blowtorch. Because we didn't have a blowtorch. And you know what? I nearly fucking got a blowtorch from work as well, just in case I didn't. But fuck it anyway. So doing that helped to just heat it up the joint a little bit, and then we used the big Bertha adjustable there just to get it off. But my God, that was stock, wasn't it? Yeah, that was stock. But now, as you can see, it's off. It's off. And that's, this part probably isn't faulty. We could probably fucking snip these cables and rejoin it in. It's just that part
That
is absolutely sent to heaven.
That is bollocks. Like, there's a fierce bit of corrosion on the male end of the plug. Or sorry, the female end of the plug. So we need to just clean that corrosion out just to make sure it's connected up all properly, and then we'll plug her in and clear the code and
hopefully it will work.
Hope for the best. See what happens.
You'll understand the gist of how to put it back in by taking it out. So all it is there's, let me take it out. There's threads that spin separately to the actual sensor itself, and it's attached to the well, it'd be a 21mm nut, right? So then put it up here and you slide it in and you just start threading. Just make sure that you don't cross thread it,
Oh yeah, Jesus Christ.
because if you cross thread this, that's the whole exhaust out of van and you either have to re-tap it or I don't even know what you do after that.
Oh my god, imagine. He says as he cross threads it.
Yeah, you don't cross it, but it's alright if I do that.
If I find the torque specs for this bolt, I'll put them on screen. But we're just going to do it to
torque.
hand tight. Yeah. It'll be fine. It's only a sensor. It doesn't need to be stupid tight. I wouldn't imagine, like...
This thing can fall apart in 2 weeks' time. All I needed to do is pass the test to show that it's roadworthy. And then it'll go back to being unroadworthy in 2 weeks.
That's fine. Right, so before we go any further, have that in there, and we have the new unit plugged in. So we're just gonna plug in the OBD reader
Let's hope for the best.
and make sure that it actually works.
So when your NoX sensor goes, it just throws the check engine light onto the dash. There's no specific light, and I'll send Will a photo here to stick it up on the screen here of what it says, but it's probably showed now already. One check engine light. If you don't have an OBD reader, you should really get one, because if you have any faults with the car, it tells you everything. And if you're worried that your alternator isn't working, it shows on just above where the circle is of where it's scanning. If you look at the left underneath the check engine, it shows 11.8. If that's not showing 14, which mine's not, so that's kind of a worrying thing for me, but that my alternator might not be charged up with the battery, so you can check on that. So 5 faults are shown. You press the blue square in the bottom right hand corner, and then you can go in and check all of the faults that have shown up. Red is a fault, green there's no problem at all. So engine is a fault. I go into faults, and this should be NoX sensor B. So lost communication. If I go clear, my check engine light is gone.
Check engine light is gone. So obviously we've cleared the code. So the process now would just be run another scan and see does the code come back. If it doesn't, then switching that sensor has fixed the problem.
Bosh. If you can see there now, right, so it's showing up 14.6 volts. That means my alternator is charging my battery now with the car on and running. If your car was running and started and that's still showing like 11 volts, 10 volts, it means your alternator isn't sending its current into your battery.
Or it means you've got a dead cell in your battery.
Yeah. But I'm pretty sure you can also check the health of your battery on this.
I'm pretty sure you can as well, yeah.
Do tests.
If you want to get one for yourself, there'll be a link in the description where you can get it. In fact, there'll be a link to everything that we've used in this video in the description.
Yeah. So far, no check engine light has shown up, which in the first scan it showed up straight away. So that's a good sign. Sometimes though, if you do use it, you'll get like, what's it called? Nuisance faults, where it's not really a fault, but the OBD reader senses a fault, but it's not a fault. Like if like it might show up that I have a fault with my heated seats, but I don't have heated seats in the van.
Yeah.
But it's sensing that it could be added in as like the higher end models of your vehicle.
Like
if you have a standard model. Like.
Yeah, like a lot of the time, the companies won't bother manufacturing different looms for all the different spec models of the car. So the loom that's in, say that's in this, like the plug for the heated seats, will still be on the loom. It's just not plugged into anything. So as far as the reader is concerned, the ECU isn't getting a signal from that plug, so it's going, oh, there's a fault with that, but really there's not, because it's not there. It's not supposed to be plugged into anything.
Exactly. So as you can see, the engine is all green. If I click in,
no faults.
And with my central electrics, if I go into it, it's still going to be green, but it's window washer pump, and my window washer pump is working. So and then alarm horn, my alarm works. So like, it's just nuisance faults. Electronics send the signals to the ECU, nuisance the, or is that the word?
If you like.
Yeah, you know what I mean, where it trigger a false fault.
Yeah.
If that makes any sense. Yeah.
So now that we know that this is working, we can go back onto the van and secure it properly, zip tie it all up and make it look nice.
Only 5 months waiting to get this done, but sure look.
We got it done eventually.
So I just disconnected it just for easiness. We're gonna mount it up to the mounting plates now. I'm gonna try and force it to stay on
with some M8. Now an M8 nut is actually a little bit too small, but M10 is too big.
So we're just
and we don't have an M9, so we're just forcing M8s onto it. At the end of the day, it needs to just fucking stay on there. So as long as it stays on, fucking grand job. Just use an impact to force it on like that.
So that's as tight as we can get it. That's really tight, so that's good.
The front one is perfect, yeah.
So that's on now. And then all we have to do is put these back into their clips.
Zip tie it up, make it look all nice.
Yeah. From factory it comes with metal clips that you just pull back the latch and slide the cable in. So I'm gonna do that, and then wherever it's hanging down, I'm gonna put cable ties, which is gonna be back here somewhere. So what I was talking about, the clips here, you just pull back the little flange and it just holds them in place. You slot the cables in and it just holds them in place. There's one right after the module here. There's one here, and there's another one just underneath the van. So that will, what way did I have it? I had it that way first.
That one is like pretty much right next to the sensor.
Yeah, so then you'll have a little bit of slack at the cable, and you don't want that sitting on the exhaust. So you want to put it a certain way that it's going to be away from the exhaust, but it's going to be that it's not going to hang down underneath the van, potentially getting caught on something when you're driving down the road if you drive over a bush or something. So I just have it tucked up away from the exhaust, but enough to where it's not crimped and it's not like, it's not going to damage anything. Right. Just for good measure. Let's put that over there. Right.
Job's a good one.
Job's a good one.
Right, okay lads, that is how you change the Bank 2 NoX sensor on a Mk4 VW Caddy. If this has helped you change your own, please give a video a like, it really helps out the channel, and don't forget to go down there, click the subscribe button, and make sure you ding dong your notification bell so you get notified every single time we upload and you don't miss any tricks and tips like this. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you in the next